interesting to me because a dynamic of this work lies in its conversation between sculpture and architecture within that sort of atmosphere, and not really in the zones of religion, which I really know very, very little about. Now, what I said about a sculpture having an extended life or even a second life might be true of this piece in Vivilet, Spain. And Vivilet is a little bit like Cannes, France. It has a film festival. And this is in a traffic circle, so cars are going around this. And I wanted the work to reference film, but I wanted it to also contain this ingredient of that defeats the frozen monolithic absolute posture of sculpture. So it is a stage set. It's like maybe a part of a 1960s building, and perched in the corner is almost a miniature but fairly large suburban home, as if it's ready to fall. And the structure is implemented with a lot of the elements of film, ladders, tracks for dollies, cables. So it looks almost as if it is a stage set where action is going to occur. And the action is what happens with this house. So, so it's an example of a work that has the action sort of withheld and sort of poised, and that sort of breathes in this sort of possibility of a second voice. These are now in Reno, Nevada, and engagement. And I talk about this sometimes on a practical level because you put art in an urban setting like New York, it sometimes it isn't going to last very long, particularly if it has fragile elements. But if you put the fragile part up high, you can still allow for circulation, and you can still have this part that you really want to be protected. The content here is well, it's simply that, you know, it's poetic in a way, engagement, but these rings are kind of coming apart. So it's sort of double-edged in terms of its content.
What are the materials?
Glass.
Glass.
Where is that in Reno?
It's in front of the art museum. There's a few of these. There's some in Europe.
So are the rings and the structure steel and then
Yeah.
glass?
Yeah. Actually, I mean, it's not a favorite work of mine, but some people like it. They're building it in Hong Kong this summer for the equestrian part of the Olympics, which takes place in an area that also has a justice of the peace. So it's always been kind of something that somebody's getting married might want to sort of have a picture taken. I'm not really too interested in this stuff, but I think in Reno it also has that. This is not usually my typical work. These are cast wedding cake figures enlarged. It's called Mary's Tree.